It's 10 trivia questions on fake lists, where I'll give you 4 items and you tell me which item doesn't belong. This is Trivia with Buds. What it be, and welcome to another episode of the Trivia with Buds podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Buds. Thanks for checking out my little show. If you like trivia, you are in the right place. 1,300 episodes to listen to anytime in the archives on every subject you can imagine, from Harry Potter to WWE to Lord of the Rings, to Star Trek, and all the other nerdy stuff you're into. And also fun rounds like today, where I'm giving you some fake lists. There'll be a topic, for example, songs by Blink-182. And I would say, let's see here. They're one of my favorite bands. Why can't I think of any songs? First Date, which is a song I hate. Why would I think of that one first? First Date, All the Small Things, and Adam's Song. And then I give you a fourth one like, this is going so terribly. Why can't I think of an example? Nookie by Limp Bizkit, of course, would not fit on that list. So I'll put Nookie last, and then you'd be like, oh, Nookie's the one that is not part of this list. So that's how it's going to work. It's going to be a fun one. Did this for a live trivia night. One of my weekly locations, probably a couple years ago, came across the PowerPoint on my computer and said, I should update this. So I came up with some new fake list categories and fake list items, and here we are. If there's ever a type of round that you enjoy in the show, like fake lists, or maybe what's the hidden word, or rhyming pairs, or what's the theme, or trivia snake, for example, those are some of the novelty kind of gimmicky trivia rounds, let me know, and I'll do more of those. If you have a favorite style of trivia, let me know. I'll try and work it in. Or if you want to write me your version of any of those types of rounds, and you can find examples of those dozens of times on the podcast over the last 4 years, feel free to send me any questions that I can record for future podcast content. And I'll give you some credit, a shout out, all that good stuff. All right, we're going to jump into today's fake list category. 10 questions coming up. Here we go. All right, we've got fake lists, and we've got your first list coming up for number 1. The category is Hugh Jackman movies. Here are the items: Real Steel, Van Helsing, Cinderella Man, The Prestige. Which one of those does not belong on this fake list? Number 1, Hugh Jackman movies: Real Steel, Van Helsing, Cinderella Man, The Prestige. Number 1. Number 2, rivers that flow in the United States of America: Red River, Snake River, Yukon River, and Purus River. Number 2, rivers that flow in the U.S. of A: Red River, Snake River, Yukon River, Purus, P-U-R-U-S River. Number 3, songs by the band Tool: Cunning Lazarus, Schism, Parable, 46 and 2. Number 3, which one does not belong on this fake list? Songs by Tool: Cunning Lazarus, Schism, Parable, 46 and 2. Number 3. Number 4, top 3 grossing films of 2002. Which one does not belong? 2012. Number 4, top 3 grossing films of 2012. The Avengers, The Dark Knight Rises, The Hunger Games, Brave. Number 4, The Avengers, Dark Knight Rises, The Hunger Games, and Brave. Which one was not a top 3 grossing film of 2012? Number 5, songs on the Dirty Dancing soundtrack: Be My Baby, Hungry Eyes, She's Like the Wind, Heaven in Your Eyes. Number 5, songs on the Dirty Dancing soundtrack: Be My Baby, Hungry Eyes, She's Like the Wind, Heaven in Your Eyes. Number 6, characters on the OC: Summer Roberts, Ryan Atwood, Steve Sanders, Sandy Cohen. Number 6, characters on the OC: Summer Roberts, Ryan Atwood, Steve Sanders, Sandy Cohen, number 6. Number 7, books published in the 1980s. We have Ender's Game, The Joy Luck Club, It, and The Giver. Number 7, books in the 80s, Ender's Game, The Joy Luck Club, It, and The Giver. Number 8, video games on Xbox 360 at launch. Perfect Dark Zero, Uncharted, Madden NFL 06, Call of Duty 2. Number 8, video games on Xbox 360 at launch. Perfect Dark Zero, Uncharted, Madden NFL 06, and Call of Duty 2. Number 9, original Baskin-Robbins flavors. We have Maple Walnut, Rocky Road, Rainbow Sherbet, and Butterscotch Ribbon. Number 9, original Baskin-Robbins flavors, Maple Walnut, Rocky Road, Rainbow Sherbet, and Butterscotch Ribbon. And the last one for fake list, number 10, states that touch Texas: Oklahoma, Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico. Number 10, states that touch Texas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico. Those are all your questions for fake list answers or fake lists. And we'll be back in just a second with the answers. How many times can I flub on one podcast? All right, fake lists. Number 1, here we go. Starting with Hugh Jackman movies. We had Real Steel, Van Helsing, Cinderella Man, The Prestige. The one that didn't belong was the Cinderella Man movie with Russell Crowe, not Hugh Jackman. Number 1, no Hugh Jackman in Cinderella Man. Number 2, rivers that flow in the U.S. of A. We have Red River, Snake River, Yukon River, and Purus River. The answer is Purus River, P-U-R-U-S. The other 3 are in the U.S. of A at some point, but not that one. Number 3, songs by Tool. The one that didn't belong was Cunning Lazarus, your first choice there. Schism, Parable, and 46 and 2 are all Tool songs. But I thought Cunning Lazarus sounded like a Tool song, doesn't it? Number 4, top 3 grossing films of 2012, The Avengers, Dark Knight Rises, Hunger Games, Brave. The one that was not in the top 3 was Brave. That's right, the last choice there. From Disney, that one I think was in the top 10 of that year, but not the top 3. Number 5, songs on the Dirty Dancing soundtrack: Be My Baby, Hungry Eyes, She's Like the Wind, Heaven in Your Eyes. The answer is Heaven in Your Eyes, not on that soundtrack. Number 6, characters on the OC, one of my favorite teen soap operas of yesteryear. Summer Roberts, Ryan Atwood, Steve Sanders, Sandy Cohen. The answer was Steve Sanders, who was actually Ian Ziering's character on 90210. Number 7, books published in the 1980s. We have Ender's Game, The Joy Luck Club, It, and The Giver. The answer was The Giver, which came out in 1993, I believe. The Giver. Number 8, video games on Xbox 360 at launch: Perfect Dark Zero, Uncharted, Madden NFL 06, and Call of Duty 2. The one that didn't belong was Uncharted. Uncharted was a Sony PlayStation staple. Number 9, original Baskin-Robbins flavors. We had Maple Walnut, Rocky Road, Rainbow Sherbet, and Butterscotch Ribbon. The one that didn't belong was Rainbow Sherbet. And I grew up calling it Sherbert, but I guess it's one of those either-or situations. You could say Sherbert or Sherbet. Number 10, to close out today's episode, states that touch Texas. We have Oklahoma, Mississippi, Louisiana, New Mexico. The one that doesn't touch it directly is Mississippi. Mississippi does not belong. And there you go. Hopefully you had fun playing along with today's episode. Thanks for listening. And thanks for listening to this fact of the day, which is that President Lyndon B. Johnson owned a water surfing car. You can find pictures of this thing. It is a car that kind of glides over the water. President Lyndon B. Johnson owned a water surfing car. If you didn't know that, now you know. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling a friend. And thanks for spreading the word by leaving a review on iTunes for the Trivia with Buds podcast. Cheers.